Hello and welcome to the channel and welcome to another Lost reaction. This is season 6 episode 12. Everybody loves Hugo. And that is correct, everyone does love Hugo, don't lie. Don't lie. You love Hugo. Everyone loves Hugo. Hugo has not got any bad characteristics, which is more than you can say for virtually every other character. If you used to be really picky, you could highlight extremely bad characteristics from all the characters, apart from Hugo and Rose, because Rose is perfect as well. Okay then, right. Names. Obviously, names have been little clues throughout, with Rutherford and Hume and John Locke and then Bentham, Faraday. The thing that got me was Hume and John Locke, the original philosophers. It was all about evidence with one's own eyes. I mean, I'm simplifying their philosophy to ridiculous levels, but it was all about empirical evidence. Don't trust somebody else's word for it, that something is true. See it for yourself. So I've taken that on board, and I have done since the beginning, that we shouldn't take any character's word for things. Just because they think something is so doesn't necessarily make it true. We should work this out by our own observations of what we see in the show. And then I found out, that's beside the point, somebody told me in the comments that Dogon is also a real world philosopher, a Japanese Buddhist philosopher. I don't understand Buddhism that well, so when I looked him up I didn't really understand a lot of his philosophies, but yeah, it seems to be along the same lines. And then I found out, because I didn't recognise him in the last episode until I watched it a second time, George Minkowski. Minkowski is the name of a quantum physicist, Herman Minkowski, who developed this. Again, I don't know quantum physics, so a lot of what I read was completely lost on me. But it involved a kind of space-time in which things that happen simultaneously from one perspective don't necessarily happen simultaneously from another perspective. Admittedly, he's talking about people travelling at fractions of light speed, very fast, in order to get that time distortion. But and a Minkowski space-time diagram is what is being shown in Daniel's notebook. 3 times we've seen that now. That weird graph with imaginary time and real space and things like that. So my conclusion is that this sideways timeline is whatever counts for imaginary space-time. Don't understand it. I don't understand it. It's confusing. But we definitely have connections between the real time and this imaginary time. Started with Jack. When he looked in the mirror, he had a small cut on his throat, which I'm pretty sure he got in the normal timeline during the fight at the Swan, the Battle of the Swan Station. And then of course there was his appendix scar, which, let's face it, if you've been living with a scar for the best part of 30 years, you're not going to suddenly forget where it came from. You're not going to look at it like the way Jack looked at it, like it was a completely new anomaly. because he didn't have his appendix out in the normal timeline until after he got to the island. So it's like the timeline's trying to correct for differences between the now characters and the characters that would have been had they survived the plane crash, if that makes sense, which it doesn't. And then we've got Eloise. She knows something. It's like she knows she's in this imaginary timeline. And Charlie, he sees something when he saw Claire on the airplane. There's Daniel, who saw something when he saw Charlotte at the museum, and he drew that thing which he shouldn't have been. He drew that Minkowski space-time diagram, which he shouldn't have been able to do, given that he's a magician. He's not a magician. He's a musician in this timeline. Magician. Which he shouldn't have been able to do since he's a musician in this timeline. The walls between the real timeline and this imaginary timeline are breaking down. I'd like to see where that leads. Right, next part, because this is going to turn into a little bit of a ramble where I'm going to try and get at least some of my random thoughts in order. Jacob. We don't know much about Jacob, and we don't know much about the Man in Black. And like Charles said to the Man in Black, what we do know is hearsay and rumour and folklore. I mean, a lot of what we know about Jacob and the Man in Black has come from other parties who, has been proven, haven't been told the truth, or haven't been told the complete truth. Even people that were in contact with Jacob for long periods of time, like Ilana and Richard, weren't told the complete truth at any point. So really what we've got as fact is the conversation Jacob had with the Man in Black at the statue at the beginning of the incident, and the conversation Jacob and the Man in Black had with Richard on their separate occasions, and that final conversation between the Man in Black and Jacob when Man in Black smashed the bottle. And that's all we've got to go on as fact for who these people are. Oh, we know that the Man in Black can turn into a column of smoke. How? We don't know, but we know that Jacob can grant some weird gifts, because he made Richard practically immortal. So we know they're not human, not fully, not completely human. The thing that bugs me is everyone's been referring to the Man in Black as evil. Evil incarnate, I think Dogan said. But the Man in Black hasn't acted evil. He's not exactly acted good either. I mean, he's killed a lot of people. But he hasn't exactly acted evil. Not evil incarnate. I think he's only killing people at the moment because he wants the island to be empty. That's my hypothesis. That you either go with the Man in Black off the island, or you die. Either way, he wants that island to be devoid of humans once he's gone. I don't know why he wants this, why it's important. Then when Jacob was describing evil to Richard, when he was using the bottle as an analogy. He didn't say the man in black was evil. He just said that what Richard calls evil has many names, and it's on the island, and the island is the cork that keeps the evil inside. I'm starting to think that something else is the evil that they're talking about. And if the man in black can transform himself into a column of smoke, can evil be electromagnetic force? Because that's the thing that right from the beginning they've been trying to keep contained within the island, is this massive electromagnetic force. That's or maybe my other theory was those beacons that they put in on the audio tower things that they put that Charles put along the beach that keeps the man in black from getting in, the ones that the Dharma village was surrounded by, they keep the man in black contained. He can't cross that barrier. So maybe the electromagnetic pockets around the island also serve as a containment field. But then I thought, well, maybe if you go even higher, the island, along with the lamppost, and maybe that island that Rose visited when she was trying to get her cancer cured, maybe those are worldwide electromagnetic containment fields, so that no matter how like 3 layers of a security breach, if the evil gets to the surface, it's still contained on the island. If it gets off the island, it's still contained within an area of the Pacific, a triangle, as it were. And then you've got the deal with Richard, the man in black, and Jacob, of corruption, of Jacob bringing people to the island to prove that they're not corruptible, but he doesn't want to interfere. He doesn't want to tell them how to live. But if he doesn't want to tell them how to live, why does he need an intermediary like Richard? And in honesty, it seems like he went off the island to, interact with Kate, Sawyer, Hugo, Gin and Son, John Locke, Jack. If that's not interfering, what is? And what's the lighthouse all about? 360 names on a dial, and him observing them, wouldn't that be classed as interference? I don't know. I'm clutching at straws for sure. I keep coming back to this old Egyptian myth. I thought it once we got the Egyptian statue, once we knew what the statue was, and I'm still not convinced that's a hippopotamus. It still looks more like a crocodile to me. But anyway, people say it's Tarawat, so I'll go along with that. So there's this Egyptian myth that I think it was the sky goddess, Nut. She couldn't have children. She wasn't allowed to bear children on any day of the year. So I think it was Thoth played games with the moon and won some of the moon's light, which he fashioned into 5 new days. The year was only 360 days at that point. So he made 5 new days, making it 365 days. And though, because those 5 days were not part of the actual year, Nut was able to have children, and that's how Osiris and Set were born. And Osiris and Set were adversaries, kind of. They fought a lot, and they eventually went to an island where they duked it out in various forms as hippopotami and as different things. And then it goes on that Set killed Osiris, hid his body, things like that. I was just thinking, the Set Osiris, it links in with the Egyptian thing. It features an island which we've got in Lost. Man in Black has already talked about his mother being crazy, so we know he has a mother. It could be Nut. Then there's the 360 day year thing that matches with the 360 names. And again, I'm only assuming that all those degrees of the lighthouse thing were actually filled in. We only saw partial parts of it. So again, it's a theory, but it has holes. What else? Everyone loves Hugo. Let's see what this is about, because I think the imaginary timeline is going to break down completely in the next couple of episodes. But I really need more information on Jacob and the Man in Black before I can, because the Jacob doesn't seem to be all good. I don't think they're incarnations of good and evil, because like I said, the Man in Black hasn't acted evil. He's acted bad in places, or not particularly good, but he's not acted evil as such. And Jacob hasn't exactly acted purely good. Chaotic good, I think, is more the case. I mean, he was well willing to beat the crap out of Richard for no reason, even though he was the one that bought his ship there. Okay, it turns out I did have a little bit of a ramble. We'll get to the questions about characters and the inconsequential things after we finish the season. After we finish the series, we can work out all the headcanon after that. Right, let's go. Everyone loves Hugo. Everyone hated him in the last time we had an episode like this. It was everyone hates Hugo. But he's the lucky man now, isn't he? Rather than the unlucky man. So, okay. Everyone loves Hugo. 1, 2, 3, go.
Strife. There is but one fact.
That's Marvin
we all can
Candle.
agree upon. Everybody loves Hugo. Born to humble surroundings, Hugo Reyes has always been a beacon of light for all who crossed his path.
I kind of wish I could talk to you about it in person.
Why won't you visit him?
A lot of people have come to talk to me after they've, gone. It'd be nice if you did too.
Hugo, you ready to go? Once I'm back, we're leaving.
Hey!
Michael.
What are you doing here?
I'm here to stop you from getting everyone killed.
So Michael's coming to visit him now. What is his with this power to be able to speak to the dead? Did he always have that and the island unlocked it, or did the island grant it to him?
What matters is you going across that island to blow up that plane. People are gonna die. A lot of people, it's gonna be your fault. What? Because people are listening to you now, Hurley.
Hurley. Who are you talking to?
No one.
Don't lie. He knows.
Hugo?
It is Libby.
Hi. Nice to meet you. Wow. I wasn't expecting someone like you.
I'm sorry?
You know, someone who's
That's not his date.
pretty. You don't look like a Rosalita.
No.
Oh, my name isn't Rosalita. It's Libby.
So, you're not my blind date?
No, I just saw you from across the room.
How'd you know my name?
Because you're famous.
Well, if I tell you, you're gonna think I'm crazy.
No, I won't.
Oh, she's had a...
Do you believe that two people can be connected
Yep, she's had a
like soulmates?
a flash. Whatever we're going to call these things.
You don't remember me, do you?
Hugo, I'm looking out for your best interests. All of you. Nothing is more important than this. That thing is evil. And God help us if it ever leaves this island. Because if it...
Oh, crap. Whoa, that's Ilana gone. Shit! That was out of nowhere. She did a Leslie.
So, you found what they were hiding in the submarine?
I most certainly did.
And Desmond still seems passive even though he's been tied up. He doesn't seem to be really bothered.
Listen, you mind if I join you while I wait for my order?
He's number 42.
That is a lot of chicken.
I mean, she started saying, but then she told me that we already knew each other. And that, I'd remember.
Tell me something. Did you believe her when she said she knew you?
Yeah,
Yeah, he did.
kinda.
You know, I say go with your gut. Before you give up on
So
her.
Desmond's going around pushing.
42? Order 42?
That's him.
That's me, brother.
Yep.
Oh,
Had to be.
it was nice bumping into you.
He's blown the place up. Oh, brilliant. He really did not want anyone blowing up that plane.
Why the hell did you do that?
I'm protecting her.
One of your commercials came on, and the moment that I saw you, it was like I was hit over the head. All these memories came washing back of my life, only
It wasn't your life.
once. Another life. There was a plane crash. And I was on an island.
And I was there.
I think so. We knew each other. Liked each other.
Would you like to do something?
You mean
Yes.
a date?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
Who's that?
That's not the same boy, is it? That you saw last time? Yeah, look.
Just ignore him. Do you know that boy?
I said ignore him.
The boy's real. Who is the boy? I've completely forgotten about the boy.
Jacob says we have to talk to Locke.
Jacob's here right now.
Yeah.
Ask him what the island is.
What?
A while back, Jacob told me what the island was. If he's really standing here right next to me, then just ask
A
him.
cork.
I don't have to prove anything to you, Richard. You can either come with me, or
You can keep trying to blow stuff up. Your call, dude.
Oh.
I'm going with Hugo.
Really?
Oh. Oh.
Don't get in our way.
Hugo is literally bringing Son and Jack and himself to Locke. That's all the people he needs to leave. Oh, I'm worried now that Hugo isn't actually speaking to Jacob, or maybe Jacob wants the man in black to leave. I don't. Oh God, no.
Or he could just kill us all. Yeah, he could.
If he wanted to do that, he would have done it by now.
I didn't see Jacob back there.
Didn't think so.
I just said it because I wanted everyone to listen. I know. Wait. It's cool. I think I know what these things are.
Oh, yeah. What the hell are they?
Ghosts.
Wait here.
Are they ghosts, or are they remnants of another time?
Michael.
There he is.
You're stuck on the island, aren't you?
Because of what I did.
And there are others out here like you, aren't there? That's what the whispers are?
Yeah.
Ah,
They're the
interesting.
ones who can't move on.
It's because of him.
Do you know where Locke is?
Ah, it's all come back. That's it. That's what he needed. It's like a magic spell. It's broken by a kiss.
Whoa. I think I'm remembering stuff.
You are.
Ah, and Desmond's watching and making sure. Desmond is doing Matthew Abaddon's job. He's getting people to where they need to be. Is that the well?
What is it?
It's a well.
Is that the orchid well?
A long time ago, places like the one we're standing at right now made compass needles spin. And the people holding the compasses needed to know why. So they dug.
And found the electromagnetic
Find what they were
pockets.
looking for? No. It's because Charles Widmore is not interested in answers. He's only interested in power. And he brought you back to this island so that you could help him find what he's looking for. After all, this isn't the only well.
Oh.
And that's the reason you wanted me to see this.
Don't you dare do anything to... I guess Desmond's going down that hole. Has he killed him? No, Desmond has survived that, I reckon. This is a leading piece. Desmond's going to try and push John. Or maybe even Ben. God, he's not going to run him over, is he? What the hell? He's given him a near-death experience so that he'll remember. I think. Bit of a brutal way of doing it. Right, I'm going to have to... Okay, I've not got much to say on that episode. It was a lovely episode. It was really good to see Hugo, the philanthropist, using his money for good. Proves my point that everyone loves Hugo. He hasn't got a bad side. Although, lying about talking to Jacob and then delivering Son and Jack and Frank into the lair of the supposed enemy maybe wasn't such a great idea. But you got to trust him. You got to trust him. And it was really nice to see Hugo and Libby's relationship kind of blossom. Although, yeah, well, at least we got to see the date. At least we got to see the date that we was denied in the other timeline because of her murder. But it was all about getting Hugo to remember the original timeline, wasn't it? And for that, he has done that. And Desmond has made sure of it. But then Desmond ends up running John Locke over. And I think that was to trigger, because near-death experiences seem to work. And that's how Desmond got his memory of the real timeline. So maybe Desmond thinks that's the only way of doing it. I don't know, but he's run John Locke over, and that was very dangerous. That could have ended a lot worse. Could have killed him. So, yeah, not a fan of that approach. We'll have to see where that leads, because that was obviously leading into the next episode, I would assume. And we find out what the whispering was all this time. I don't think I guessed it was the voices of the recently departed that were trapped on the island and couldn't move on. I didn't suspect that at all, but at the time I suppose I wasn't really looking at the spiritual side of this island. I was more looking at the practical side. It wasn't until the sci-fi element started coming into it that I changed my approach to how I viewed this show. So, I wouldn't have guessed that though. But it's nice to have an answer. It is nice to have an answer. And now we've just got to find out what is going to happen now that John Locke, or the person posing as John Locke, is going to do now he has all of the people that he needs to take with him. And in Hugo blowing up all the dynamite, he's going to have a plane to be able to leave with. So, was that such a good idea? It seems like the otherworldly guides, the non-alive characters, are guiding the living characters into allowing the man in black to leave. And of course Ilana's gone Leslie, blown herself up. That wasn't expected. Seems like Jacob was indeed finished with her. So, yeah, Jacob's not all that great, is he? He's not that nice allowing that to happen. Okay, that was a really nice episode, really great. I don't know if I'm unhappy to see Ilana go. I wasn't that keen on her to begin with. But it may cause problems later, I think. I think Jacob was very silly in allowing her to die like that. I think she could have been more useful. I don't know. Okay, until next time, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Until then, catch you later. Bye bye.